Lobster monkey goose. Whoa, it's got like a dramatic dark pause at the end there. Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's Saturnday Social, the first day of the month of April of 2023. This time next year, you should already have made your preparations to attend the Bosque del Dollar General Eclipse event. Start preparing now. The lady who's kind of in charge of arranging that is with us here today on the Saturday Social. Ladies and gentlemen, coming out of the shadows, the matriarch of the Shadow Cabal, the heart of the hive mind, Magic. Hello and welcome. You're on the. We're doing this live. This is happening.
Oh, hi, everybody. Sorry, I was over there.
We have Chad the alcoholic out there.
Hi,
Stephanie
Chad.
Christos. Hello, Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Oh my goodness, it's Linda.
CHINO.
Linda, great to see you. She's going to be with us in CHINO that one. You should start brown nosing now, people. Welcome. Happy Saturday, Slack. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome. All right. This is us being social on a Saturday. It's weird because I know you already.
I know, right?
It's easier for me to talk to strangers.
Why is that? Why is that?
I've already told the stories. You already know the stories. What am I supposed to say to you? Alphabet, good to see you in the Hive Mind chat.
Alphabet, hi.
You know, everybody who chats over there in the Hive Mind chat gets a +2 bonus to the savings throws.
Two.
Yeah. Oh, savings throws. We do those here, ladies and gentlemen. What's this one, Magic?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's survival. It's the first one. I'm going to do them in order. You don't have to actually see.
But I but I can't see. Don't make me.
Survival. This one's survival. Social. Wisdom. And what's this one?
Heart.
There you go. And everybody gets to pick one of those as the basis for their savings throw against the mind control in this show and for the rest of your weekend. So you get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, and heart. What do you think, Magic?
Heart. I think I'll take a heart.
Everybody else, choose. Survivalists. 12. Or disciples, as we say around here.
So that'll give you 14.
Socialists, a 2.
Oh, no.
A 2. They're only up to a 4 if you talk in the Hive Mind chat, but you get a +5 if you comment on the replay.
There you go. There is redemption.
For the lovers of wisdom, we have a very interesting situation because as of my last check, this Baker's Coven, your savings throw got today,
Dr. Time got the Baker's Coven,
is also the amount of subscribers I lack from putting the channel under the axe of the 1,000 count whatever review. And
what
as far as
13? Oh, no.
And as far as you hard people are concerned, bonuses do not apply.
Oh, that's wrong.
You're on the screen, Magic. They have no savings throw against you. The Indigo kids, they got 4. They got 4 exponentializing itself over here for their role. The Kama's in the crowd. What'd you pick? You picked hard, didn't you, Chad? Well, this is Magic. So, well, to
Chad. That's me.
okay, we have savings throws done.
Yes.
Here's some branding before a very important announcement. Can you guys make these wider? Any chance? Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal that makes all of this possible. Welcome home. This is the Broken Clock Tower Discord, the Metanoia Marina, the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse, and the boat over there on the left. And now for the most important of announcements, I must present a thing to make this announcement. Dun, dun, dun.
I should leave for the announcement.
You want to go? Okay, well, you can come back. I'll bring you back. The important announcement is apparently, and I might be having my leg pulled because of what day it is, but it turns out, okay, so the announcement goes as follows. Bart had a baby. Well, not him, but Bart had a baby, but the anomaly is that now he goes by
Enemy.
And it's very confusing, but he's in the chat. Made the lady make a baby, and is celebrating the birth of that baby today. Congratulations, Anna. Congratulations
Enemy.
on reproducing. Be sure you bring it up right. Okay, that was the important announcement. But since But don't go down. Stay up. Stay with me for this part. Since we did open Miriam,
Shenanigans.
we should probably give the secret message about
Shenanigans.
that we do when we open Miriam. So to get the secret message, ladies and gentlemen, you go to the word of the day and then you go back. So we know what shenanigans, mischievous or bold activity or behavior. There's also
Recuse.
to disqualify oneself as a judge in a particular case.
Golem.
A golem refers in Jewish folklore to an artificial humanoid endowed with life.
Immaculate.
Means spotlessly clean, without flaw or error. What the? All right, and so the secret.
Building's wrong, man.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that's clearly not part of it. So the secret message from Miriam is that you are currently a character in a
Bildungsroman.
where the protagonist is an
Immaculate.
Golem.
and you are unwillingly participating and like you
Recuse.
yourself from these.
Shenanigans.
Thank you, Miriam, for the secret message of the day. Welcome, everybody. This is the Saturnday Social, and today I'm with Magic. I'm running some branding. Hold the phone. Wait, where's the phone? That's not branding.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Magic, I think we need to debate the announcement because today is today. And this claim made by Anami is made by a person who used to be someone else, so it's clearly deceptive. And today is the day of deception, is it not? And so, do you think he actually made a real live baby human who has arrived on the planet today, or do you think he's performing an epic troll of us all in the community?
I think there's a possibility. I think there's a possibility that without pictures, that we could be being fooled.
Well, he does claim that he will post those in the foolishly transparent clubhouse on the Discord, which reminds me. Hello, I see the assassins have failed. Okay, so other than this laugh track provided by Magic, I guess we should do a show now, huh? You want some background music?
Not really. I don't know.
Not really.
I don't know.
Should we ask Dan, the sentient AI, what we should do?
Yes.
No.
Well, then why did you ask?
Okay, let's try that again. Should we ask Dan, the sentient AI, what we should do?
No.
Yeah, keep Dan in the dark.
In case you guys, if you ever want to spend more time with this wonderful Heart of the Hive Mind, she attends the Deadwood Dandies with us on Thursdays. Maybe that's a good way to start the talky part of this interview. Maybe
it is.
You attend these Deadwood Dandy sessions that Griswold Grimm conducts.
Yes.
What can you report to the Hive Mind about those experiences so far?
Well, I was surprised when I got in there. I'm not a big Western girl, but yeah, I went in there, and with the other people in there, with the general in there, all that kind of stuff, it makes it even better. I really have a lot of fun in there. The best lines. They have the best lines.
They have the best lines. Like I've been there, and I see in the private chat we have during the events that you say the word line a lot.
I do, because there's a lot.
Why would
you allow two?
I allow two? What are you talking about? I allow two.
You say two. You set a limit. Two.
A limit. Okay, you say line a lot, and I said a limit of two. What are you talking about? These people don't know what.
Oh, well, the general said we should do 2 lines and leave it at that, and I can't. I just can't.
Stumps stopped in to say hello and then left. He pledges his sword to at your service or whatever.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really like Adrian.
All right. Well, let me break the fifth wall. The reason she's allowed 2 lines is because we come together to make this thing called and we have this little game in the Deadwood Dandies called Deadwood what is it? Deadwood Hold'em, where everybody picks 2 like cards in the game of Texas Hold'em, ultimately ending up with a bunch of lines from it that we create together like this.
There's a lot of gold out here, Al. To define right in this environment is very liable to be an ongoing process.
I am off duty. You're on duty. So you can go fuck yourself.
You could use some rest.
I could use a clean conscience.
So could we all.
I don't know what possessed me. See, I do well in a camp or a settlement or a town.
That part's too long. Copyright's going to catch it. But that's what we do. We make this little game where we pick out our favorite lines together. And she has a lot of favorites.
I do.
So you like this experience of watching this Western you didn't think you'd like with a bunch of
like
weirdos from the
I like
internet?
it very much. I like it very much. For one thing, Discord was very confusing for me. I resisted, but once I started going, it didn't take but a minute to figure out what was happening. And then I got in there, and the people that show up in there, and the lines that they do, and just the general chit chat that goes back and forth makes it a really fun experience. I look forward to it every Thursday. I really do. I look forward to it all day long.
Do you think it has anything to do with this internet and mining clips from videos that guy is on about? Does it help people understand that part? The archetypal mapping of the Western pioneers to us being pioneers on the internet. Does any of that, or is it just fun to be with people?
That too, and the way to integrate things. Um, I've always had severe stage fright. So when went into StreamYard, and there's only a few people in there, and I talked to you for a while, and the guys that show up in there really and briefly, and nobody expects me to stay, and now here I am. Maybe it's all because of Deadwood.
Well, at this point, you were already in very, very deep. We have videographic evidence of that. That I will demonstrate for everyone at this time.
No.
On behalf of the Shadow Cabal, we're honored as matriarch of the Shadow Cabal with the first ever produced Lobster Monkey Goose Shadow Cabal hoodie, made to keep you warm this winter.
Okay. Wow. Wow. It's too small.
It is, but it's very warm. It will hold you tight.
It will hold me tight.
Can
And
you-
it'll save me tomorrow.
Can you model it for them?
Look at the cool hoodie. Coolest hoodie in the world. It's the best live stream ever, isn't it?
I think so. No, this is the best live stream ever. And you can get one of those cool hoodies and join the Shadow Cabal by following the links in the description below. Hey, upstairs. Hey, good morning, Cassandra. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, let's say when you got to
Nakoma. Let's see if we can highlight Nakoma. Yeah.
video evidence of a sweatshirt knighting. What a world we live in. You wear it well, Stephanie said.
Thank you.
Now, if we say everything before you getting to where you were at is your backstory.
Yeah.
Like, when did you get involved with this Grim character, and why did you stick around?
Well, evidently 14 years ago, I was knocked over by being proclaimed disabled, and I was given a lot of pain meds, and I sat and I actually started watching Lift the Veil. I found Lift the Veil, and then this guy showed up, and I guess you're over here.
That guy.
and started messing around with Nathan on Lift the Veil, and I thought he was funny, so I subscribed to his channel. And then kind of just watched every once in a while and thought, wow, that's weird. And then I would go do something else. And then I came back, and then about 3 years ago, I was able to get myself off of all the pain meds that the doctors had put me on, and that started me on a whole new adventure. And then when I did that, started on that, I ran into a shaman who made me sorry.
Uh-oh. You got a ticket? No?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. A shaman who made me his apprentice. And we were messing around with my laptop, and I came across one of your videos, and he said, I like that guy. You should send him an email telling him he made you smile tonight. So I did. And then I started.
And now look. And now look. Look what that fella got you into, Magic.
Yeah. God. Well, it's been it's been an incredible healing journey for me. I left everything I knew behind. Everything I'd known for 30 years. I left it behind, and the general there has been my friend all the way through. All the way through. Good man. Good man.
Is there anything you'd like the rest of the hive mind to know you or know you for?
Oh?
Like, you did do a tarot reading on a live stream the other night, if you want to talk about that some.
Well, yeah. I'm an energy reader. I don't tell people what their boyfriend's doing behind their back. I'm an energy reader. And I really don't do that for a whole lot of people these days, because everybody wants to know what their boyfriend is doing behind their back. So, I just, I do it for me. It started when I was a kid with totem cards. And, okay, so you wake up in the morning before you go to school, and you pull a card, and the card has a leopard on it. What are the best qualities of the leopard that we want to practice today? And that's how it started. And then I had actually some Jewish friends when I was about 9 or 10, and they had tarot cards. and they had cooler pictures than just, like turtles and lions. And so
your cards only have turtles on them?
Right.
Come on, sister, let us show you something.
Right. So I got into that. So it's always kind of floated around in the background. And then there have been several times in my life when I threw all my cards away because they were right. It made me mad.
You're supposed to tell me what I want to. I'm supposed to be able to get whatever message I want out of this. And it's supposed to be the one.
Yeah, exactly. And if I can twist it into how I want it to be for me today, then it's acceptable. But if I can't, it has to go. It has not anymore, but it did then. Mm-hmm. It did then. I can see what's happening now, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going now.
Boscadell. You've without question, you've embraced the responsibility for the Boscadell, Illinois eclipse event.
Oh yes. I wish to be there. I really do. I got all pulled into the first eclipse and all the weird things that happened. I still have a picture of all the multiple pictures on the images on the ground, the shadows of the sun and the moon, and there were hundreds, and there were too many, and that never happened before, and I got weirded out, and I started paying attention. And I really want to go. I want to go back.
I have two questions for you now.
Okay.
First comes from Gavin, who's apparently busy today, probably being a father or something. He wanted to know about the raven. I'm assuming those claws that are going for your head on the screen there behind you.
Yeah, yeah. That is the raven.
Is it?
Once upon a midnight dreary, as I pondered, weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. It's like, I did that a bunch of times. And then I actually haven't had a raven fly in and land on a bust of Pallas in my home, but I settled for the skull back there. But ravens have been my dad. My dad, when I was a kid, one of my he died when I was 14, so my memories are kind of magical. But we would go out into the backyard, and he would call in the crows, and he would do it every evening, and there would be hundreds. They would he would start calling, and hundreds.
Like, is that making like a duck call, but one for them?
Or call. I can't do it. He was a big old man. But yeah, and all these crows would rise up, and there were 4 ravens, and 2 would fly over and sit on one side of our house, and 2 would sit on the other. And so
wow.
I got fascinated by that. And so, like a million years ago, I started reading up on ravens and the spiritual significance of ravens. Ravens were commanded by God to feed Elijah in the desert. They fed Elijah in the desert. And they're messengers of God. And they speak. They can speak better than most of the domesticated birds, like the macaws and the parrots and stuff like that. They can mimic human language better than most of them. And
do they like peanuts?
Probably, but they like to eat dead shit too.
Well, I can't provide them for that, but I've always tried to befriend crows and ravens.
Yeah, they do like peanuts.
That's a principle. Okay, the other question I had for you was from Stephanie Christos, who says, do you ever change your plans based on what the cards tell you?
No.
All right, that was and
no, I don't ask questions like that. I will ask what kind of energy I'm walking into. What's the energy? What's the energy going to be like in this interview today? And actually, everything was happiness and sweet and everything. But when it's not, then I just get ready for it. I don't change my plans. I just get ready. Okay, there might be some kind of calamity somewhere today. A lot of times, though, that's somebody else's energy, and it never affects you anyway either. It's just somebody close by, or a group of people close by, or something like that. And all this other energy is going on. And if you're sure in yourself and you know that you're filled up with spirit and you're protected everywhere you go, you're not going to let a card change what you're going to do today. Just not going to do it. It's not going to do it. It's fun to play around. It's fun to see what the energy's doing. I really like I get a lot of synchronicities with the cards, and I like that. I will think of something, or something will happen, and then when I go to pull the cards show the same thing that happened, and that's cool. That's very cool.
I want to tie back into the birds with Neutrino saying "Bird of Hermes?" ? And Anna confessing, after my mom passed around 13 or 14, I'm guessing that was his age, I saw a lot of significance in crows.
Yeah, I can say too. You know, losing my dad at that same age. Yes, you know, seeing him out there cawing into the air and raising all these crows out of the trees and everything became highly significant my entire life. I'm a little older than 14 now, but yeah.
Also, from the hive mind, Chad the alcoholic says, I peeled at least 200 potatoes today.
Saturday.
What the hell kind of question is any battle scars? But there you got one. None of your damn business, sir? I don't know. Answer it as you like.
Nakama had a question.
Yeah, that's how I like to too. Is there a particular part you enjoy the most while interacting with the energies?
Yes.
I love the way you answer questions. That's a slick hoodie you got on.
Oh, I know, right? Right. Check it out. Lobster monkey. Okay.
Goose.
Goose.
Up says Edgar Allan Poe. It's like his name was meant for poetry, right? It's brilliant.
I stole it. I stole all the stories I tell on here. Is I stole something. I stole an Edgar Allan Poe book from the library when I was 8 because my mom wouldn't let me check it out. And I ended up reading it to my kid brother because I was mad at him and I got smacked around with it. But I still love Edgar Allan Poe.
What, the Telltale Heart? There you go, bro.
The Telltale Heart.
I got a bedtime story for you.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a shame so many people aren't going to have children who have siblings. Little things like that just quite to miss out.
Yeah. Rivalry is real.
Apparently it is not a joke and the child is confirmed, or there's been a confirmation of a child and Chad's talking about something completely different.
Yeah. Chad says so.
You are now a poetry bandit, as deemed by Nakama.
I am poetry bandit. No, about the my favorite kind of energy. I zeroed in on an experience. Well, I haven't explained the prison to everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mag is going to tell you about her time in prison now. That's not the story you wanted to get out today.
I'll keep it brief. I'm a therapeutic community specialist, and I was hired to go into a medium security men's facility and turn a prison pod into a holistic therapeutic community. And I was there, and I was having a group, and I was talking to a man who had just given up on himself, totally given up on himself, and you could feel it. You know, I remember if I was sitting here, he was sitting right there, and I was saying, "What would you like right now more than anything?" And he told me he wanted a Tundra truck. And I said, "Okay, tell me about the Tundra truck." And he told me about it. And I said, "You can have it someday." And he said, "No." I said, "No, I can't. I'm a worthless piece of shit. I don't deserve anything. That's why I'm here." And I said, "I don't believe you're a worthless piece of shit." And we started talking, and I felt spirit come in. When I feel spirit come in, that's my energy. Spirit takes over. You know, we're all overcome quite often, not really knowing what to say. And I'm here in this situation as educated and trained counselor, and that doesn't change things quite often. You know, I'm not the kind of psychologist who writes books. I'm the kind of psychologist that sits down face to face with people who need help. And you don't know what to say every time. So that energy, that spirit energy comes in. And I said, "You know what, man? I don't care what you ever did. You always did the best you could at that time. Always. I didn't care how messed up it was. I had to do a little working on that later because I worked with people who'd killed people. He'd done some pretty terrible things. And I came to believe that that was still true. That was a spirit message. So if I'm looking for energy, pretty much it's when I cut loose of thinking I can do something, and I let spirit take over. And that's my favorite energy. He changed. The energy in the room changed. He smiled, and I made him one of my interns. He took over the place. It was great. And because he completed my program, he made early parole. So he's one I haven't heard from. I hear from those guys every once in a while when they get out.
Forgot I was muted. I hope he got the truck.
I do too. I hope he got his truck. He had a clear image of that Tundra truck.
How do you feel about opening this up?
What do you mean?
You want to like put the link and let any weirdos come in and talk to you?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So how we're gonna do that is I'm gonna copy this link.
Could we like do branding?
How about a musical break?
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna do a musical break, and somewhere during the musical break, I will drop the link in the Hive Mind chat if you'd like to come on board and be social with Grim Grizz and Magic here on this Saturnday Social. Here on this Saturnday Social.
Devices that I own, reaping clips with the flow, has earned me the end of gold. This corner's now my home.
Oh, yeah.
Blam. Wait a minute.
Hi, Chad.
No. There we go. That's more like it. I get the square over here on the left. Hey, Chad.
Hey.
Welcome aboard to the Saturnday Social.
Ah, yes. It's very nice. It's interesting that she has a embody.
You thought she was just a voice bot in the chat. This whole the magic GPT over here.
Yes, that's me. People think I'm a bot.
Hey there, MJ.
People think you're a bot? Oh.
Sir, bot.
Hi, net adjuster.
What's up with your potato peeling, Chad?
Well, every year the church that we attend does a pancake event, and so there's like 10 or 15 of us in this room peeling a bunch of potatoes, and there's people setting up grills and making eggs and meatballs and getting everything ready for tomorrow. And so I was like, I'm gonna go peel some potatoes, and so I brought some gloves and my potato peeler, and we peeled some potatoes.
Does it feel good to be part of something bigger than yourself?
Yeah, it was nice. It's nice to do that.
Giant pile of potatoes is a power greater than myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
200 potatoes.
At least. I mean, I think everybody, there was like 1,200 pounds of potatoes. Literally.
Wow. Saturday KP. And all 1,200 got peeled.
Yep.
What a team.
All right. Well, how long are you going to be here, Chad?
Whatever, man. I can leave if you want me to.
Oh, wait. No. Chad, this is Magic. Magic, this is Chad.
Chad.
We've had discussions briefly, and so that's been cool.
Yeah.
And I like your story about the helping somebody to see that they're not completely worthless. So that's good. That's good.
Right. Well, why would somebody want to participate in the program? Wasn't easy. Why would somebody want to participate if they weren't worth anything anyway, right? Why would somebody want to try if they believe that that's who they were and that's who they were going to be?
Yeah.
And we were talking here the other day about whether we participate in things. The topic here was mostly about porn, and whether when we participated in things like that, whether it sticks with us. No, I can't believe in the things I've seen and the people that I've seen recover, not only from addictions, but lifetimes of being knocked down, not only by other people, but by the court system and everything else. Because as a recovering alcoholic addict myself, most of the men that were in there was just one thought that came to my mind, and that was, but for the grace of God go I. Mm-hmm. I just didn't get caught. Mm-hmm. I didn't get caught.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a friendly chit-chat. Magic went and made it serious, so I came
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
you did have some after the stream comments after that stream, so I'm not surprised, but I didn't want to leave Chad up here by himself with it. So.
I think some of those things do stay with us. It's just a matter of kind of like maybe alchemy, I guess. It's like changing having your past transformed into something that's actually more useful. So it doesn't leave us. It becomes
right.
Useful.
Right. Right. Transmutation.
Mm-hmm.
Transmutation.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking earlier this morning about the notion that we're the interruption. And at the basis, the easiest to explain level I found was like at the level of the breath. Is because like this thing will sit here and breathe.
Yeah.
And I am the thing that interrupts it and can make it hold its breath or change the rhythm to experience that right?
Yeah.
The interruption in the natural flow of order.
Right.
And like these things, these patterns that get built into us, they become the highways that our neurons have run on. And like, so to change the behavior, you can't just like, I'm not going to do that anymore because all the energy tends to flow down the channels that have already been drugged. So you have to install a new interrupt.
Yeah.
when it starts to flow down that channel, you're like, okay, but instead of lighting this, I'm going to go do a push, and if you can create the space of a breath to do the interruption, then you can so the thing is still with you, but when those pieces burn off, you might be able to repurpose them.
Right. Well, it's the same thing as taking all the pain that you've been through and turning it into a strength that you can share with other people about how you got through it. And when you see that it really is helping other people, to hear about your experiences and how you work through it, that sets you free too. That sets you free.
What if you work through it by putting on a mask?
I think that if a mask works for you and inside of you things come together and work out for you the way they need to, wear your mask. You'll take it off. You'll take it off when you get it put back together.
There was this one time, there was an instance of intimacy, and there was a triggering event, and so there was. This is not someone I would normally have been intimate with, but as I approached the moment of intimacy, I felt like each of the layers of myself that wouldn't do it get peeled off like the clothes.
Right.
And those are all masks, I think.
They are layers.
And so, like,
the different characters we play, the LARP.
If all you want to be is your legal fiction, that's fine. But who else are you?
I'm Morticia.
No, you're not. You're magic.
Okay, today I'm magic.
I don't know who you're Morticia with or what the context is for that.
I'm Morticia all by myself. I do everything all by myself. I'm a hermit too.
Nahama heard somewhere that it takes sustaining a new thought pattern 17 seconds in the brain body to start building new neural pathways over or around 17 whole seconds. Holy smoke.
Well, maybe that's the way it starts in the brain, with a little blink in 17 seconds.
17 is a lot, though. Lenny has a natural flow of chaos.
But I worked in long-term treatment, and it took long-term.
Up says alcohol drinks are called spirits for a reason.
Yes, they are.
Etymologists might tell you that alcohol has something to do with Dijin and consumptive spirits. I think for me that's the best way to consumptive spirits has always been the best, because like I grew up next to a friend who lost his dad, and then alcohol became his ride. He got to ride the alcoholic thing right next to me. Yeah. And like seeing him do that and go through that was enough to, like, between that and the fancy notion that it's a consumptive spirit, but it ate him so much, so much of his life, so much of his time, and so much of his body, really.
Mine too.
Sorry about that. I missed all that. My wife just called.
Well, don't ever be apologizing for maintaining your family with that poor woman. I mean, lovely woman.
What are you guys talking about? Because like last thing I heard was something that brought to mind powerlessness for me, and it's something that what's his face, Dr. Time Lenny had something to talk about powerlessness. He didn't like the model of 12 step because he thought it meant something different. But I think the powerlessness is what it's like for me. It's like this, like when my spirit, or like if you look at, remember those old Duracell batteries when you could like put your finger here and put your finger there. It tells you how much power is in the battery, right? And like, so powerlessness is like this. My spirit is like, there's like this emptiness in me, and so I find something outside of me that's going to fill me up, and that could look like, you know, whatever. It could look like sex or alcohol or whatever it is, and those things are like this insufficient power that I feel is a superior power, and it fills me up and it makes me feel a certain way, and it helps me to feel like alcohol helps me feel connected. So that's the whole idea of powerlessness. And then so what happens is when I know the truth about what it really does is that it's insufficient. So then I have to go out and find something that is a sufficient power that will fill me up. And like the idea is, you know, God, and then pretty closely tied to that is service to others and all that stuff. And that's where I get filled with power. And like, there's never enough to give.
Right.
So I don't know, because you were talking about having some disagreements about how in that stream about porn, how people can't let it. I can't remember what you said exactly. Like, you think it stays with you or whatever. And
No, does she seemed it like it does. We established in this. We argued
Yeah.
in the stream that any narrative you eat becomes part of you.
Right.
Because you are what you eat, and you've eaten the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't comfortable with the way we left it seem like you can't be washed clean of those parts of you, or you can't repurpose those parts of you, or, you know,
alchemize those parts of you.
Yeah, we made it seem like that was they were too permanent, like it was too much permanent damage, and she's seen too much recovery to leave it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like William.
That's like the 12 steps, Chad, and the powerlessness. You know, we when I can't speak for anyone but myself, but I walked in there and I was either going to do it or I was going to die, and so I became powerless. I made myself powerless. That's what it said to do. That's what everybody there said to do, right? And I became powerless, and I made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood Him, right? And I did that, and I was there for 13 months, but I did not walk out of there feeling empowered. I walked out of there still feeling powerless, and I didn't find that power in meetings.
Right.
I still walked out of there being powerless.
Right.
And so I had to rework all that in my mind for myself.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. I mean, that's why I think meeting-based sobriety is doomed.
Yeah.
It's not, it's just like a drink. You know, I'm trying to get all the power from other people, and they're insufficient. They're not going to to me. And so the powerlessness is, the power comes, and I'm always going to have a lack of power. That's my dilemma. So I'm always, I need to find a power by which I can live by. And I find that in seeking God.
Right.
And like here, William says, alcohol makes me feel lonely. Thus, I don't go too far, but I enjoy a good Sam Adams. See, this guy, I wish
he can do that.
I could do it. He's not alcoholic.
Right. Right.
Like, for me, alcohol makes me feel alive. And if it just makes me feel like a person, it makes me feel, and thus, why not more?
Right. More is better.
One of the
allow me to interrupt. I was thinking, I remember Embody. Remember Berries. Like the Remember Berries stream didn't go as well as I would have liked. Right? But earlier today I was thinking, and I had a member berry. And like I'm calling them member berries, and it's not pop cultural enough to actually fit the definition. It's just something bubbled up from the pool of my mind that was the experience of a memory. And memory is interesting in and of itself, right? Like I tend to remember facts, not sensation. Right? I'm not a visceral rememberer normally. And that's like the one I was trying to talk about on that stream. Those are like the visceral sensation memories of what it was like when the internet wasn't a presence in my head.
Yeah.
You probably like can touch that memory, or you have a lot more of those to touch.
Yes.
So
Yes,
but the internet is a thing in your head now, right? You get that?
right. It is.
And so today I was having one, and I called it up almost, and it was like, what's it mean? What the feeling of being alive? And Chad just saying that alcohol makes him feel alive triggered it, right? But like when I called up that member, Barry, the sensational one, it was like of swimming, right? Like in the summer sun, like just like that, like like where every drip of the water off of you. I don't know. That's and this feeling of being alive it's like it feels right now like saying it filled with your own spirit.
Yeah.
And so maybe since Chad was being filled with a different spirit, it's just whenever a human is filled with spirit is what we consider feeling alive. And what are we the rest of the time? And what is that feeling?
And which spirit do we choose?
So
how much choice do we have?
What alcohol?
We have choice. We can choose alcohol. We can choose God. We can choose.
Is that what it turns into?
Huh?
This powerless journey. Is like learning how to make the choice, or that you have the choice, or between God and not? You know what I mean? Where's that fit in? And you guys talk some more. This is fun.
But the powerlessness is a feeling of separation. It's an isolation.
Yeah.
And so, like what alcohol did for me for a very long time is it helped me feel connected.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, like that's what I'm really looking for. How can I get connected? And that's where my spirit starts to light up, is when I'm connecting with others.
Yeah.
And like when I can have moments where I'm completely by myself. It could be like you said, like a summer day or something. And I had this yesterday, actually. I was sitting outside looking at the clouds, listening to music, thinking how kind of like what an incredible little, almost insignificant experience this is, looking at the clouds and just kind of like being alive. But I'm grateful that I'm alive and a part, and I'm kind of reflecting on how really good I have it right now. And
gratitude.
Yeah, right. And so like when I'm in gratitude or separation is when I kind of feel like I don't belong here, or and I could say like sometimes I feel like a real piece of shit, but honestly, the only time I really feel like that is when I'm feeling like I'm not connected to other people, and that's where I start to, something inside of me gets distorted, and I start to feel like all sorts of yucky, like but that's
I feel bad when I push people away.
Right.
You push people away. I don't do it even when I don't do it in a mean way. I just shut down.
Right.
And that's pretty much when I'm walking around kicking my own ass.
And that's why I like the first step, the powerlessness, admitting I'm powerless and my life's unmanageable. It's a good step, but it doesn't protect me from anything.
It's not enough.
No. Like you have to seek power. The power is what keeps us connected. It's the mucus that binds us, as Jim Carrey once said.
One of my clients, we were talking about the third step, and he said, "So, what if I choose Satan for my higher power?"
Go ahead.
I said, yeah, do it. I said, kind of the idea here is to be kind of calm and serene. You know, we've got the serenity prayer and all that kind of stuff. And Satan is the Lord of chaos. But if that works for you, that works for you.
Right.
He was just messing with me, but
what he really wants you to say is, "Oh, you can't do that." Like,
right. Right.
That really stuck with me from Jurassic Park. Like the boundary testing. Like that's a thing that animals and people will do. That whole like, so like, what if I choose this? Is there a boundary there? You know?
Right.
I just flip it.
I got a contribution from Neutrino.
Pardon?
Neutrino said, which apparently is the pneuma is the Holy Spirit. Another way to say Holy Spirit. Be careful with that, because it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, something I've learned. Oh, sorry, Magic. Ladies and gentlemen, something I've learned over the course of my life is that if you at all apply biblical theology, there is something called an unforgivable sin. And that is what they refer to as blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. Now, they didn't tell me this when I went into the Pentecostal church, and I referred to getting the Holy Spirit as getting the juice. But so this word like pneuma is kind of on the line, but apparently is authorized. That's what happens when there's a hive mind chat, guys. Sorry.
So blasphemy against the Holy Spirit would be to prevent somebody else from breathing.
Yeah.
Forever, right? Like like
Wow.
Cutting them off from pneuma. That would be like blasphemy against the Holy Spirit.
That's what it would seem like it would be.
Well, that's already against the rules elsewhere, but sure, we can bring that up as an additional charge.
Yeah.
Neutrino has a good question.
I'm still way up here. Hold on. How else does one find out the architecture of their invisible cage other than by testing boundaries?
Testing boundaries.
Janice! Look, everybody.
Hi, Janice. From down under.
She apparently it's morning there, or she's waking up in the middle of the night at just the right times. I think that's why Anselman calls her antipodian, but
Anselman uses fancy words.
That's what we have Miriam for, right? Right. The parts of the earth diametrically opposite. Okay, you're fancy, Anselman. Look at how smart you are.
So my lovely wife just got home, and I want to spend some time with her because I haven't seen her all morning. But it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Magic. It's great to see you.
Pleasure to meet you, Chad, and talk to you. Have
a great April Fool's.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
That blessed woman. That blessed woman. That story haunts you, Mr. Good. What story? Oh, yes. Fine, it does. But it's because Peterson rejected the Holy Spirit, and feels so much more like blasphemy. Oh, no, we have an incoming conversational partner, Magic. Are you prepared? We better run some branding.
We might need some branding, as I need to run that way for a second.
Oh, well, let me get some big branding then. Hold on.
Please.
Hold on. Yeah, I'll start with this.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room?
I want to cast Magic Missile. A room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet.
I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Good morning, Australia. I guess I wouldn't. Oh, that. Are you done putting the? Hey, welcome, Nakama. You're here to talk to Magic, but she's not back yet.
That's fine.
And you're.
That's fine. My brain hasn't started yet, so.
Oh well.
Just as well.
You're on the screen now. Welcome.
But yeah, I couldn't miss the opportunity to say hi to Magic.
That's good. That's good.
Even
What do you
though
think of her taking issue with that? It sticks with me thing.
No. I think she's right. This is not a one size fits all equation. I think that the power of suggestion, how it impacts us, is whether we accept it or not. Like, I think we have a choice in the intaking process. I think if a person is unconscious to the suggestion being a suggestion, then it's much harder to choose whether to accept it or not. But like, okay, on Reddit this week, I saw, my sister showed me a post where this, the "Am I an Asshole" forum. Oh, it's
I don't know
one.
anything about Reddit, lady.
You're doing good. So people write in about their life and ask if they're an asshole or not. And but this one guy, his wife had a baby 2 weeks ago, allegedly, and she had a son before him who looked like hi, Magic.
Hi, Nakama.
Good to see you.
Am I an asshole?
Came back in the middle of a story. Am I an asshole?
No, but his wife, so he's talking about, he wants to know if he's an asshole because he yelled at his wife, because his wife is the new baby girl took after the husband, who's got a big hook nose and it's not as pretty as she is, apparently. And she's telling the baby things like, oh, if only you were as pretty as your mommy. I'm sorry you've gotten your daddy's genes. And like verbally saying all of these things. It's okay, honey. We'll get you plastic surgery when you're older. Don't worry. These are suggestions. Like, now the baby doesn't have a choice to take in. Like,
So you grow up with, I'm sorry, you're butt ugly like your daddy.
Oh, right? My God.
Yeah. and it starts 3 days out, like less than 2 hours out the womb. Right. Already getting it.
Right.
It's interesting to me because, like, I don't know if you ever heard of it, but there's this thing called Scientology.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's based off the work of this science fiction writer, but like the work was theoretically not science fiction. And it's this book called Dianetics.
Dire.
and like the front part of Dianetics that the whole thing was based on was essentially the power of suggestions on your unconscious mind before your mind is capable of language. So like the bullshit you overhear in the womb ends up manifesting as part of your life because of the power of suggestion. So it's stretching your concept that you're highlighting here into like, oh, really, pal levels. But that's the notion, right? Is that like unconsciously things picked up and made suggestion. Like, this is how we do things around here.
But bringing it full circle, because you had mentioned in a stream a little bit ago about the suggestion Mr. Fats had made to you. And that's one you have the ability to accept or not. If you accept it, you can turn it into reality. Like if in that moment so my understanding, and I could be so wrong about this, but my understanding is if like in the moment you accept it and you felt it viscerally, that is part of embodying the suggestion. But if you reject it, if your body rejects it, it's more important the body than the mind, I think. So if your body rejects it and you can play a part in that, then you won't fulfill the role that Mr. Fats gave to you. He gave it to you. But that's it. That's it. It's external to you until you eat it, I think. I don't know. Does this make sense? This is my understanding of it. But
I'm a little confused in the comment.
She doesn't know what comment you're talking about in the comment.
Oh. Jacob had said to Grimm on a stream that he will always be a starving artist.
Mm-hmm.
He made that statement. And I think, right? That's quite a statement to make.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, what do you think of that? Like,
I think Jacob has no power over Graham. Is what I think. I think he can speak that all he wants, but if he speaks that against someone else, I think we seriously look at the chance that that's going to fall back on us. I don't speak down on other people.
I held on to it. I don't know that I internalized it,
Yeah.
but I held on to it as his opinion of me. And like that one was about the same level as when he said to me that I'm a bad, like I asked him if he thought I was a bad investment or he said I was a bad investment.
Yeah, but let's look at how that's fallen back on him.
No, I don't like to look at things
No,
how things fall on
I
people.
need you to know that's. I'm not saying okay. You know, he was punished for that or anything, but there are consequences for what we say to and about other people.
Yeah.
Well, there's gonna be, at least for me, because like I'm
Right.
holding that as his, like that's your opinion of me, and that's who you are.
Right.
That's who you are to me. You've defined the nature of our relationship by doing that.
My question is, what is it in him that makes him continue to come around and just want to slam dunk people?
Well, I think that's the key, I think, of the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, I do understand what that is. I understand that people who need to feel better about themselves put down others.
Well, this is getting a little homonym for me, and the base is the keep this where we both go with this is that the understanding that there is mind control and our susceptibility to suggestion.
Yeah,
like part of the core message of why we roll the dice at the stream.
Yeah, that's also what matters. What you say to people, what you put out there.
He's not Christian, so he doesn't have that whole, it's not what you put in you that defiles you, but what comes out of your mouth that defiles you. Like he doesn't have that to work with like we do.
Okay. I don't.
Well, he has a bunch of other stuff that he's not adhering to. We have like a lot of laws pertaining to speech, Lashon Hara, evil tongue, and they're very, very particular and very specific. So
the gap between knowing better and doing better is something that's perplexed me for the entire course of my life.
I will point out he did actually physically invest money in you. So that's
yes, he's one of my largest finance. The actions and the words don't match up. It might just be posturing, but it's I don't know. It's weird how like a single phrase in a context, one you can like. This is too Black Mirror for me, so I'm going to latch onto it and attach it to you.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Something I would like to just add briefly about Jacob. I look at Jacob and there's something I really like. I really like it, but usually it's when he's quiet.
I'll let him know, Magic. I'll let him know next time I talk to him.
So I just wanted to throw that in. I'm not gunning for Jacob. I give him crap in the chat, but that's kind of fun.
I have this notion. I don't know if this will make sense, considering I just woke up from the nap. But like, I see relationships as a continuous negotiation of the self. Who am I to me? Who am I communicating that I'm to?
Who am I willing to be for you?
Yeah, and it's this dance of like, it's sort of this constant negotiation. Yeah, it to me, in a way, it straddles the line between negotiation and gaslighting. You can like.
No, the gaslighting is because you can't.
Yeah,
the gaslighting comes to play because you can't negotiate because it ruins the LARP.
Would you give me a concrete definition of gaslighting?
We've already given you a concrete definition of gaslighting, Magic, like 2 seconds ago.
Give me another one.
No, that was an example because we didn't. It's like lying to make the person think they're.
Yeah, this is who you are, Stephen. you're this, you're that, any
Okay.
adjective descriptor, who
Okay.
I think you are, but you may or may not be those things, or you may have been that at one point, and now you.
And I
you
try
have
to
that.
convince you that you're what I say you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
But oftentimes,
Okay.
with all the projection and stuff, it's like, you know, like back to the like, why is Jacob saying that to, you know, it's like,
It's part of the role we've negotiated with each other.
Yeah.
It's like the way we dance is like we give each other. It's like there's not near. There is so not near enough iron sharpens iron in and like the stabbiness with Jacob is like, and Mark is probably as close as we've gotten. I mean, I don't want. You know what? Like full tilt on a half truth. Like it is way too feminine around here.
oh my God, it's true. But like not the strong kinds, but like but because online space, like it really warps everything, in a weird way.
It has to
makes it-
because it's disembodied, and that's most masculinity is embodied, right?
Yeah, masculine is more dense. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a complaint. But how do you? I mean, what do you do? Getting an internet spat, and like, what are the consequences? I'll leave the corner if this goes wrong. I mean, how in this context does iron sharpen iron? How are us men supposed to do that properly? Could I confer this matter to the shadow matriarchy and assume that I can leave the seat and be fine? Thank you.
Well, let's look at anything, any kind of struggle. You know, it depends on how you fight. It, any struggle that you make it through makes you stronger. That's how iron sharpens iron. You know, how many people here have been through things they didn't think they would survive? Not just physically, but emotionally, you know. And how have you come out on the other side? So is that not like iron sharpening iron? Is that different?
I'm hearing like a tinge of accountability too.
You're on point, Magic. But the question I've presented to the ladies here is how are us men to sharpen each other's iron in this online space, other than like what do we do? Hit piece videos on each other when we look. Grim said he would do this and he did it, and here's my video calling him out on it.
Yeah.
Do we turn this into that, or how in this feminine environment, how are men supposed to hold each other to higher standards?
Okay, explain to me why this is a feminine environment. I don't follow that part. Because what I've done since I got here is I've learned the most because it was probably what I needed to learn from the men here. It does not feel like a feminine environment to me.
By the way I meant it was the way that I'm sure it came from Papa Peterson, right? But it's about how when men fight and when women fight.
Yeah.
And the social like the cattiness is like all that's left for us to fight with are the tools of the way.
Okay,
women,
I understand. Yeah, you got the
that
internet.
social stuff.
You got the internet.
This place.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand. I'm sorry. Yeah.
With no threat of violence to mediate. Like they're not in the same room, so any asshole could say anything without having to.
Right. So
own up to their
your
words.
weapons. I would say if words are weapons, Use the weapon that you're most comfortable with.
No, but the thing is we're also, it's intertribal. Like we're on the same team trying to shut. Like that's what I'm looking to do. It's not that we're trying to out stab each other.
Right.
Although, like some people like to pick fights on the internet with
Yeah, but if you're seeking
Sure.
resolution, that's going to change the whole interaction.
But internally is like, how do we develop a culture of expecting more of each other? Like,
wow, that's a tough one.
To attack my own hypocrisy, smoking on stream, driving on stream, those sorts of behaviors.
Right.
But even more in manners of speech and rhetoric, and these are pioneer problems in this invisible space.
I know that I have spent a great deal of my career working with and surrounded by men, but I'm not audacious enough to pretend like I know what a man should do in most circumstances. I know about the thought processes, but even the thought processes vary. That's probably why I learned to call spirit in so readily. Because I'm a girl,
Spirit, help me with these men. Amen, sister.
But
make me go to the snake again. Stephanie says, I think it has to do with how to fight clean, and I also do not think of this as a feminine environment at all. Merely verbal assault.
Yeah.
It's like no shunning, right?
Yeah.
There's verbal assault is one thing, and then there's shunning, and it's all these how to teach us your lady fighting tactics so we can use them here on the internet.
Well, I usually spout a harsh truth and walk away. So I don't continue the fight.
God bless the Irish exit. We are intersecting at the edges of our sacred canopies, and those bubbles get busted when taboos are introduced. Ooh, that's actually pretty wise and succinct there, Anomi. Oh, don't bring up the Protestant.
No, I wasn't.
I was yelling at Neutrino. I'm sorry.
I wasn't finished, and then I forgot where I was, and I left it in the wrong place. Oh, walking away. And because it's not actually walking away. It's okay. Here's exactly what I saw and how I feel about it. The ball's in your court, and then I leave the ball in their court, and I stay on my side of the street. I don't care what you do after that. I don't care what you say after that. If you say something directly to me, I'll respond. If you shun me and that's your punishment of me because you didn't like what I said, so be it. I'm going to leave it alone.
Here's the truth as I see it.
I'm on my side of the street. I'm leaving you alone now.
Well, bless your heart.
And if you
I'm with Magic on that one.
Go ahead.
I don't have any answers to tell anybody else how to be, but for me, it's more about keeping my own side of the street clean.
Exactly.
And however people want to conduct themselves, that's. And
Is that come in? Is that a shunning?
No, because I didn't block anybody. I didn't kick your ass, and I didn't tell you don't ever talk to me again. I told you this is what I see, and this is how I feel. Now you decide whether you want to talk to me or not, and if you do, you do, and if you don't, you don't. And I'm going to live my life. How's that?
Really difficult for me to extract into a metaphor.
Go for it. Do it.
No, that's how it is. I've been trying. I got nothing.
This might be my map brain, but there's a big part of me that doesn't think that Oh gosh, my brain is so asleep right now. I don't think we need to like all of the like the agree to disagree. It really works well for me. I don't. I'm really happy for other people to be very different and have different thoughts, and like I don't. That's it's your life. It's not mine. So as long as that's not, crossing my, what works for me, that's fine.
Right. If you feel okay with the way you handled it, good for you. If I feel okay about how I handled it, good for me. Wow. What else do I have to do today?
Like the myth of we have to all get along, I don't think that that's true. I think we can consciously be happy not getting along. But I think it's a lot to what you were saying, Magic, is like, how are you not getting along?
Yeah, well, it's not about not getting along. I think when you put it that way, that comes into a personality.
Like a one against the other.
We have a disagreement. We disagree about something. And you know what? That's all right. Because very, very seldom do we all believe exactly the same things and follow exactly the same rules. And somehow we love each other anyway.
That's a miracle.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Grim is gone. Will these two get along? Look at this guy trying to instigate. Yeah. Yeah.
Where did the boss go? Okay, there's the boss.
I don't know. This is a social thing. I'm trying to be social. I was like, what's it like when two people meet? There's like let me watch a Fringe encounter on my own stream from the front row seat where I can come and bother them if they mess it up.
Yeah.
I love the power trip of this whole experience. Speaking as a member of the fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy, we're people with rights too. Thank you very much. This whole experience is entirely delightful. And I want to thank you all. But first, some more branding.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
It's not branding, but I can't not play it.
I know.
Oh, what happened? Is everybody muted but me?
No, Nakama, this is the one you're supposed to voice over.
Oh. Remember, Embody, there is no agency. Why is this thing going so slow? We want what's best for you. Most days. Most days.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sorry. Peanut buttering in there. I'm sorry.
It's perfect. Perfect. Do you guys need another invite to come in here? Is it scrolled too far up in the sky? Is that why no one's popping on board to help balance this ratio? For such a masculine environment, I sure am all by myself up here.
Yeah, pop them another link. They're scared they won't know how to get along.
Oh, yeah. They would be now, right? After this.
You guys had a nice stream yesterday with the guys. That was
cool. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. It's probably I'm here to learn, man.
No, I'm just disappointed nobody holds me to a higher standard, and I don't know how to get to anybody else to do it.
Well, it's intimidating. You're the general.
So it's coming at it sideways, right?
Yeah.
Who do generals have to tell them what's really up? Like, that's the thing, right?
Right.
I keep waiting for it to be handled. Apparently, I'm not a large enough threat. But, we're almost to 1,000, and if the channel survives, then maybe.
Maybe be placed under control.
I'm sorry, Magic. I didn't mean to interrupt. I have something to hold them accountable to. If you want to be held accountable.
Not necessarily.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Does he really want it?
Well, only I'll swing back, but go ahead.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like I
Teo.
really Teo.
Hey, Magic.
Hi, Dale.
Yeah, I came on to bring balance to the force.
All right. Well, she's about to hold me accountable, bro. Watch my back. Holy smokes! I gotta interrupt. This is Neutrino on
Oh my
cam.
goodness.
Oh, why am
That's
I?
what we've been waiting
There's more
for.
people on here. Why is it just me?
That was really
Because
funny.
you went and bought a camera. I wanted to make a big deal about it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's
Wait,
do the
no.
accountability before I have to run to the bathroom.
Okay, this is a bit unconventional. As do I have your permission to read this email that you sent me?
Oh dear. Which one? There's so many.
Last
No-
one, the very last one with the joke in it.
I'm sure it's fine or embarrassing. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Be a good day to release it since PVK. Okay. Decided to have you kill me. I was not pleased with this email. I don't like the killing jokes, especially when they involve me and other people. The words we use. That to me, every joke has a truth. And that we speak the realities that we want, that we envision, that we see. And so the jokes, there was a second joke I heard about the killing of something. And I didn't like it. It bothered me some.
Well, there is the fraternal, the Sacred Order of Foolish Transparency. Hello, the assassins have failed thing. So there's a lot of assassination leanings, but I thought the fact that I used your clip and then that PVK used it would be like, look at this publicity you've thrust upon me, and that you would, and so be, and the reaction to that would be characterized as potentially murderous. But I will use my words more carefully.
Yeah. You know, actually, I have to apologize for bringing this up on stream. I don't think I've used my better judgment in that. Normally, I would just talk to you privately, but you did ask for accountability, and so I went out on a limb. Frankly, I don't know that this was the right thing for me to do, to bring it up publicly, because I have this thing about triangulation, and I'm afraid I may have just done that.
Ooh, I don't know anything about triangulation except from what I learned of it from watching Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater, where they capture him by triangulating where his signal is coming from. I did say I'd counter, and that the impending release of 5X is still awaiting your official review.
I have to watch it. You know, sometimes I have the stomach to watch these things, to watch myself back on camera, and some days I simply just don't want to. I really don't want to. So I have to find a good. I'm waiting for the moment. You can't do it, Tayo?
No.
You're a little quiet, sir. If you can speak louder, get closer, whatnot.
Oh, let's try this.
There, you're good now. That's good. All right, we have the panel. Meeting Magic, Teo, and Neutrino. I'm going to do that thing I said I would. Please don't destroy the show.
You know what that means? I'm not real sure what we're supposed to do here, Teo.
Anybody have a question?
I just want to say thank you so much for everything you're doing behind the scenes, Magic. I know you're doing a lot, and it is appreciated. And I wanted to ask a question about kind of the feminine side of divinity, but really, you and Nahama both have been talking about that, so thank you both.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, and thank you for all the work you do. I feel like I can run away from the chat when you're there, Neutrino. Grab a glass of water or whatever, because you're there.
You guys inspire my better angels, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I came on because I'm a Magic fan as well, so.
Thank you, Teo. I'm a Teo fan. I'm a Teo fan. And I'm a Nakama fan. I'm happy to be here. But so I wonder what the general wants us to do.
I'm going to be good, but I do want to talk to Jacob about some of this Protestant stuff. So there is that. But I want to be respectful, and I want it to come from a place of love. But I think he's taken some things farther than what they should be. That is my opinion. I would like to share that opinion with him. But sometimes I should let things be and not poke that stick that direction. I don't know Jacob that well, so still trying to figure out the best way to go about it.
What will steer me off course is anybody talking like my people are better than your people. And Jacob has a tendency to go there. I'm better than you are because ... And I have a problem with that. You know, my first encounter with Jacob, he told me I probably wasn't smart enough to call him on his phone. And so I said, "You're probably right. I don't think I'll even try." You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's where I met Jacob. So it's kind of been hard to come back around to Jacob.
Yes, why is that? Why is that? I mean, I go to release things, and we're talking about people again.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
it's more for me than that.
We were talking about how he was going to have a conversation with Jacob and how to stay on his side of the street when being confronted. Something that gets your ire up. The general's very good at that.
Yes, he is.
It's I don't know. There was that one incident.
I mean, we're allowed one incident, aren't we? Every now and then, if we don't abuse it.
Of course.
One incident too much?
You're allowed.
I've just been held to taking the task to be more precise in my speech, and I like it. And the honesty is like there needs to be drama. I mean, we can all be civil and cold, and then let people not see what's there. But isn't that a different kind of deception?
It starts bordering apathy at some point, I think.
So I don't know.
I just try to be good natured about it. You know, I just try to have fun with it. So I have fun with people who I know may not think it's that funny.
So I don't want to name names here, but I don't have any ill will to anybody around here.
Right.
All in all, I think
I do want to name names, but only when I'm saying I don't have any ill will.
Name names.
If I'm going to say I don't have any ill will, then I'm going to name names.
Everybody knows who I'm talking about. I've been dropping that name here.
Oh, I was gone. Welcome, Hezzy. There's a link. I don't know if it's still within reach or if I need to paste it again.
Maybe Hezzy has some wisdom for us.
We do have a panel issue I'd like to bring up immediately, though. Chad the alcoholic claims, "I have never had any incidents around here. I'm nearly perfect."
we can't all be the great Chad.
We're not all running for Pope.
I would suggest no. You have enough gravitas around here that it's easy for you not to have incidents. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah.
And I'd claim as much for myself, but like in doing so, I'd have to do it in a joking manner for people not to take it seriously. But like, there's, I don't know, the hierarchies form, right?
Right. Right. Well, and you're the one who brought this all in. So.
Well, I posted a link. You guys brought it in.
Well.
It happens for both lobsters and monkeys, so a bit of inevitability.
Oh, apparently what I said offended Sale.
No, he's coming back. I definitely did notice one pattern in this corner, at least from my perspective.
Patterns we can talk about.
Oftentimes, it seems to me that people will bring up an issue of how do we do this thing, and It usually is when we're all already doing it, like in the process of doing it. Like, how do we get along? We're kind of doing that right now. Like, how do we talk about this? We're usually talking about that thing already. So it's like this sort of self-awareness of looking at ourselves and thinking we're not good enough. We don't know how to do it while we're like learning how to drive the car. So I'm not claiming we have the answers, but I think we're probably a little better off than we are, considering. That's my hunch.
So maybe it's a matter of how are we doing this more than how do we? How are we? Like, what's happening? Like, people, like, we seem to be doing this. What, you know, you learn the rules of the game. Like, you're already playing the game before you know what the rules of the game are, and they're not being precise.
Well, we have rules, all of us, for our physical lives. We might not have the same rules, but we have rules, and they technically work because we're alive. You know.
So far, so good, baby. So far, so good.
So far, so good. And then, like, how our quality of relationships in the physical space is going to differ based on, you know, all these different things. But if you look at the internet in general, it's not known as a place to get along. So we're doing this like pioneering thing where we're like, hey, why don't we not treat each other like assholes? You know? So, I mean, considering not everybody is aiming for that, the aim itself is a pretty good, seems like a good start. It's not the whole thing, but like, I don't know. Does that make sense? What do you think, Patrick?
I don't know. I hear people talking a lot more about there is a problem than I actually experience problems.
Yeah, but you pretty much just watch my streams, right?
Well, I mean, I've been on the inner tube since 1998. And I've run into some things that were pretty crazy, but for the most part, no. Maybe it's where I go.
Well, I think that's a perceptual problem for us in the United States. I go on the news and there's all this evidence that the world's falling apart and things are just disintegrating all around us. But yesterday I went out, interacted with some real people, and random nice people. It was a nice day. I didn't have nobody bothered me. It was a nice day outside, out and about.
Right. So everything's devastating online and on television, and everything's just fine out the back door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we addicted to doomsday porn?
I am, for sure.
100%
100%.
in the past.
The apocalypse is our only hope.
I think there's some wiring in the brain where if you're going down a path and you have a snake to your left and a pretty flower on your right, you're going to get fixated on that snake because that will kill you. You kind of have to shift perspective a little bit to actually appreciate that flower.
But then you find out that the only kind of snakes in your area are grass snakes. And you've been afraid of grass snakes your whole life. And you find out they're only grass snakes. They're not going to kill you.
Speaking of grass snakes,
you know nothing about the damn flower.
Speaking of grass snakes, Anami says, seems like you could all benefit from alive boundaries. Where do you end? On navigating pattern.
There is a perpetual cure for Protestantism. That is for sure.
Man, all there's so much. This is my religious tribe signaling around here, and I feel so left out. It really bothers me. I guess it's because I'm way more Protestant than the Protestants. But
I wish I could tell you I knew what that was. I don't.
I don't wish. I still don't know what it is. I'm happy not knowing.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I had to look up the word proposition in the dictionary with the amount of times? I still don't know what it means. It's like my brain refuses to hold that word.
Proposition, I know.
That's a proposition.
Proposition.
It's like my brain refuses to hold that word. I propose
Oh,
that it's
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I don't know. I like to.
They're like our flags, like our Protestant, our proposition flags are. But it's mimetic. You can't blame us too much.
You are forgiven, Big Daddy. He says, I troll too much. Forgive me. You are forgiven just today. But today it's special. You're allowed. I think we don't sing enough.
Possibly.
I mean,
we don't dance
do some.
enough.
We do some. Well, no, we don't dance enough. I've been on the verge. I said I'd do it, so I need to do at least one. Tai Chi Twitch Tuesday. Because like you said, we don't dance enough. We're sitting in our chair. We're always sitting and watching sitting. I have an 8-hour live stream of me sitting. No, I don't do those, but some people do.
8 hours.
Speaking of long live streams that take too long, mine is about 2 hours long now. So Neutrino, Magic, Teo, Bahama.
Do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
We'll start with the last one in. Neutrino.
Thanks, somebody.
Thanks, somebody. Teo.
Nothing today.
No. All right, dude. Next, before you come on next time, bring. You know I'm gonna. What's the Nahama?
Oh, my brain is still sleeping. Please don't take anything. Seriously, frankly.
In conclusion, my brain is still sleeping. Magic, thank you. Magic, thank you for being here, and you've been a wonderful Saturnday Social guest. And thank you always for being the heart of the hive mind. We love you. Anything you have to say in conclusion?
Remember, everybody, we only want what's best for you. And I love you.
We love you, Magic.
Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful whatever the rest of your life is. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.